Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. As you can see, the Porsche is out of the garage. That means I can continue on the AZU. I was actually expecting to be a little bit further on this project now, but it just snowballed with the Porsche. But now it's time to continue. There has also been a lot of thinking and planning about this project, because in the previous video I concluded that the chassis was slightly bent. At that point I was thinking the best thing would be to change the chassis for a new one. But there are several things about that thing. One thing is the chassis is quite expensive. It's not extremely expensive, but it's a lot of money. And also, this car is really nice because of the old patina. And even though you won't be able to see that the chassis is a new one, it could be pretty cool to keep everything original on this one. Or as original as it stands right here. And also, this is a YouTube channel about how to fix cars, or at least how I attempt to fix cars. Changing the chassis is of course a lot of work and interesting videos, I think, but it could be even more fun to try to save this. Enough talk. What we have decided to do, remember this is not my car, but what we have decided to do is to attempt to save the chassis. So what I am going to attempt is to straighten up the chassis and weld in. Actually, I got a comment about that on the previous video, that I should just do that. On the later chassis, there is a reinforcement panel right where this is bent. So the plan is to try to straighten it up, weld those in, and then it should be good to go. What I'm going to do that is to remove the house, the entire car pretty much, or the thing you sit in a AZU. I had a very experienced guy visit me a week back who knows a lot about these cars, and told him about the bend, and also told him about my theory of actual accident damage rather than fatigue or rust. And he could tell me straight away that this is an unoriginal front fender for this car. Not only can you see the paint is slightly different, but the inside is also different. This is from a much earlier car. The one on the other side is for one of the old cars, is the original one. So that just points more towards the accident damage theory. I'm just going to bring you in a little bit just to show you this. It's very obvious. But this is the unoriginal one. It's from an earlier car, younger car. This one is the old one. It's way more squarish in there. It's not, doesn't really matter much, and you could say it's not original, and we are trying to keep all the original stuff, but this is a part of the original thing on this car, so we'll probably just keep that. But it just points toward my theory of some kind of accident damage right in there, which has damaged the wing. Yeah, and I just noticed something else. Take a look at this steering rod. And take a look at this steering rod. Yeah, this car has had a shunt. I really hope it is not too serious, because I hope that the axle arm is not bent at least. That it's probably just the steering rod, because it seems as though it has been hit by something right there. That would put a lot of force on that and on the chassis frame and all that. But yeah, something has definitely hit this car. Now I'm no longer in doubt about that. That is bent. So that little bolt up there is what keeps the actual body to the chassis. There's two of them back here, and then there was the one at the front that I cut. But there's really not a lot. And also, take a look at this. It's not even tight. But I need to undo that. I need to undo it on the other side also. And then the housing should pretty much, I think, be no longer attached to the chassis. You will need a number 12. Then you're pretty close to actually being able to remove the body of the car on the side of the road. Like, if that was ever needed. But I mean, it's just the simplicity. That is amazing. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that because it's just getting stuck all the time, and I'm gonna change that bolt anyway. There we go. Did you notice that? That came loose because of the vibration. So I think I found one of the brake system leaks. Remember the brakes? I can't remember if I told you, but as you can see, a lot of the braking system has actually been renewed by the previous owner as part of his revival project on this, which he abandoned. But he told me there was a leak and he didn't really know where. This could be one of the places because this one was moving. So yeah. But anyway, now that bolt is cut free, thanks to the Skill multi-cutter, which is brilliant in a lot of ways when working on cars, even though it's probably made for woodwork primarily. It is really helping me out when doing welding stuff and stuff like this. And now I just have to undo all the stuff that connects this part of the body to the engine and so on. So there is a rod going to the light adjustment, and the pedals down there, and some wiring, and of course the linkage for the shifter. And again, it's all simple stuff that can be removed using very basic tools, or in some cases not even using tools at all. This is where you can make quite a big improvement on 2CVs, making sure that these bushings are good, and you can actually also change them for a modified one that moves the shifter a little bit inwards into the car, making it way more comfortable to change gear. That was one thing removed. So with this part of the wiring off, all I need to do is to drag this one out, and then I can hang this part of the wiring on the body of the car like that. Then of course we need to unplug the throttle mechanism, which is this coat hanger thingy. So we're just gonna remove the spring, pull it out of this part, and it's off. Ta-da! I love this car. There we go. That's off. Into the cabin. There we go. Put that up onto there. This is unpluggable, so we're just going to unplug it. That is probably for the fuel gauge. There's got to be some wires also for the light. And then I'm just unplugging the wiring harness from the chassis going to the rear light. Also on the other side. I think we got it. Oh, I missed 2 bolts. So there's a couple of more than I thought, which I'm happy to see, to be honest. Otherwise it was really not a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove 2 more bolts back here. So I now think that I have gotten all of the mounting points undone. I also removed the spare tire from in here, disconnected the fuel tank and all the wirings. I probably forgot something, but I think I got it all. And just to recap, we got a fastener right there, right there, right there, and right there on each side. So 4 on each side, this size. And of course, in the middle at the chassis, it is also supposed to be attached with the floor pans, but that won't support anything really. But this small little fellow, 8 of these. Take a look at the size of the washer. It's so simple, and it just feels like something that you have made yourself in your shed, and not really supposed to go on the roads. But it is what it is. I think now that it's loose, I'm just going to try to grab it and give it a little lift. Yep, I can see that it moves from the chassis frames, and that also shows how light it is. So what I'm going to do is to just put some straps into my roof and lift it up so I can slide the chassis and engine out. That might look completely crazy, but it won't really be because it's not very heavy. Oh, please be room enough. Oh, I can move it, of course. There we go. And that's the door. That's everything out. I'm gonna rig up some lifting help and then go from there. I got a strap to the roof. I lifted it up and placed it on a A-frame thingy. I don't know what that's called. Now I'm gonna support this part of the car with this in this height. On both sides. And then I'm gonna start lift with the strap. It's a ratchet strap. It will not be able to lift very high before I will have to reset it, but it was just what I had lying around, so it's gonna work just fine. Seems like it's catching on something. The steering wheel, of course. I forgot about the steering wheel. I always forget something, and very often it's quite obvious, at least when you find out what it is. But yeah. And then, yeah. It just comes off. If you think this is simple and rule and basic, it's because it has to fit to the philosophy of the car, of course. It's working pretty well. Yeah, my garage is kind of small, but it's possible to do a lot of stuff by being a little bit creative. Or stupid. You decide. There we go, it's free. I have decided to make 2 wooden beams underneath and attach them to the mounting points of this. Then put wheels on that, so I can lower this down and move it around, maybe even move it outside to give it a power wash. I'm gonna try to just attach this. Okay, this is a little bit sketchy, but it will be fine. There we go. Easy peasy. It's on wheels. Nice. So it took some time to just clean up the garage, move the Saab out, and yeah, reorganize a little bit because it became a little bit hectic. But now, there we are. We got engine and chassis over here, and then the body over here, and I can start work on both of them. The main thing right now is to take a look at that chassis and see if I can do something about the damage. As mentioned, it is bent right here. It's actually quite a lot. Take a look at this. This adjustment has been made at some point to make it track straight again. If you look at the other side, it's way less visible, the thread right there. This one is adjusted quite a lot. I don't expect much to actually be in this thing. It's got to be on the last few threads. So of course that needs to be changed, that's for sure. And I also need to make sure that nothing else is bent, but I do not think so. I think that has taken the force, and then that kink in there has taken the rest of it. I don't think we have any more damage than that at first glance. What I want to do now is to cut as close to the beam as possible and up until right here where the rust stops, and then remove the top plate because it needs to be fixed and changed. And also that will make it a lot easier to bend back into shape, and then I can weld the new piece in. I'm not gonna bother with the edge just now. I'm just gonna cut out and then bend that up later. So I'm just going to cut a square out of here until I get some good metal somewhere. There we go. Nice. Woo! We're inside. And it is looking decent, really decent. Just like last time I did this, I accidentally cut through this part of it, which I'm not supposed to do. But I can fix that, no problem. There's a lot of crap in here. Ooh, score. Free stuff. And just a lot of crap. But I can feel a little bit of a kink right there, but other than that, the inner structure is not that bent. That is, in my opinion, really good signs. Next step, I'm just going to clean up all this crap in here. I am going to wrap this video up right here. I have made a lot of progress. Now I can start the rust repairs on that part. Now I can try to fix the chassis on this one. I am not sure that it will be a success, but I'm going to do an attempt at least. And thanks to you guys, I got some ideas to do it. The plan right now I have is to somehow anchor this part of the chassis to the floor. Anchor the front leg of the chassis to something stable in the roof, or maybe actually at the opening of the garage, or anchoring that to the floor also is also a possibility. I just need to make it stay in place, and then I'm going to use a jack right here and then lift up until that crease disappears, and then do a lot of measurements, of course, to make sure that everything is decent. And then in the end, make room for this part, which goes in here. It needs a bit of adapting to fit in there, and then it's being welded in. That will make it a lot stronger. This is a massive support comparing it to what it is now. So no matter what, it's going to be very strong, but the important bit is that it is also straightish. But that will be later down the line, maybe in the next video, or it will just be rust repairs on this one. We're just going to have to see. But this will be all for this video. Thank you for watching. This was really fun to do because it feels like so much progress, even though I haven't really done that much. Yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.